What does Nigel Farage really want?
You're joking. Not another one?
Sorry, darling, c'est la vie. You should have voted stay, it is too late.
Hi, I'm Jay from Just Jake, and if you're new here, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and watch the video all the way to the end, because why not? I'm a nice guy and I love everyone who subscribes to my channel and watches it. So, this video is going to be all about what does Nigel Farage want? Why has he come back? Why is he standing for election? What does he actually want to do to the Conservatives? Why does he want to destroy them? Why does he want to obliterate them? Why does he want to become the opposition? Because we all know from previous years and previous times that he stood, he clearly wants to be an MP. But why has he never availed? Nigel Farage is a figure that people perceive to be always standing on the sidelines shouting at the government, rather than actually people think, what would he do with a bit of responsibility? Is he actually a responsible person? Is he actually the type of person to do a 9 till 5 in Parliament and actually do things for his local constituency? Or is he just a campaigner, that a person who's willing to take on responsibility and actually change some of the fundamental issues in our society? Anyway, let's crack on. So there's an article by Laura Koonsberg on BBC News which delves into this exact fact, and we're going to analyse this article and see if we can get a clearer idea of what Nigel Farage actually wants, because I think a lot of voters throughout the country would love to know themselves too. Farage no more wants responsibility than he wants a vegan cigarette, a long-serving, maybe long-suffering Brexit campaigner tells me. But the Reform UK leader's long-term aim appears to smash the Tory party to bits. An exasperated senior Conservative says it's all about him, full of anger and problems, zero solutions. But why is a man who has failed to get elected to Parliament 7 times causing panic in Tory ranks? Why has a small party become the headline grabber? Even if the poll was right, it does not mean Conservative Reform are on course for more MPs than the Tories. The most optimistic Reform politicians can't name more than 5 or 6 seats where they reckon they could win. In that best case scenario, they would have fewer than 1 in 100 MPs, tiny in Westminster terms. But as polls suggest, Reform could have a big impact by guzzling up many of the Conservatives' traditional supporters, making it harder for Tory candidates to hang on. To give a hypothetical example, if Labour is trying to close a gap of 6,000 votes on the Tories and 3,000 people who voted Tory last time instead opt to vote for Reform, that's 3,000 fewer votes Labour has to find to win. Across the country, Reform could win 10 to 20% of the vote in hundreds of seats, but not enough to win those seats, but the hit to the Tories could be huge, which is why senior Conservatives have begun shouting about the risk. Privately, Conservatives have been worried about the risk from Reform for many months. That's why many of their early campaign offers were designed to appeal to voters who might have been Reform curious, older, socially Conservatives, and naturally capital C Conservatives. More like capital C cunts. National Service protecting pensions and the Prime Minister's famous promise to stop the boats, which they haven't done at all. Voters plan to back Reform overwhelmingly point to immigration as their main reason, according to research from the polling group. More in common, immigration, refugees and Brexit are cited far ahead of admiration for Nigel Farage or dislike of Sir Keir Starmer or Rishi Sunak. But one senior Reform figure says they are gaining support because of a much broader feeling of frustration. Everybody feels a lot poorer, they are terrified of being unwell because they can't see a GP, and people are furious about the levels of legal and illegal immigration. In other words, it's a protest vote. Some ministers believe Rishi Sunak has played into Miss Farage's hands. Don't draw attention to things you can't fix, like illegal migration, one cabinet minister told me. Others think vowing to stop the boats without more radical action, like leaving the European Convention on Human Rights, has made the problem much worse. Hot rhetoric, tepid policy. So there we have it. What does Nigel Farage really want? I would say from that article that the thing that Nigel Farage really wants is a complete takeover of the Conservatives. He doesn't think Conservatives are doing the right thing when it comes to stopping the boats. He just doesn't believe Conservatives have been stopping the boats altogether. He believes that all Rishi Sunak's hard talk on stopping the boats has been absolute bollocks. That without leaving the European Convention of Human Rights, it's not possible to appropriately stop the boats. Now, if you've just got one of Reform's pamphlets in the past week, you will see that their main priority is immigration and stopping the boats. It's leaving the European Court of Human Rights. They have a 6-point plan on the back of their leaflet, which overtly states that he wants to leave the European Convention of Human Rights, send the dinghies back to France, escort them back if necessary, And basically, immigration, they are doing their best to make it the immigration election. And I think they've been doing it quite successfully. And we know that it's been quite successful by the fact that the media outlets have not stopped talking about the Reform Party, despite the fact they are relatively new, they are very small, they have no MPs, they started off with lower polling than both the major parties, yet they have grabbed all the headlines. Why? Because Nigel Farage is a charismatic figure and everyone cannot stop hearing about him and they cannot stop wanting to hear about him. They want to know what he has to say. Nigel Farage even coined his manifesto differently to any other party. He defined it as a contract for the people. And just the fact that he's coined it as a contract for the people states everything you need to know about whether he wants to change the country. He's even naming his manifesto differently. But yes, I think what Nigel Farage really wants is to stop the boat. I do think he genuinely cares about the people of this country, otherwise he wouldn't be campaigning for the people of this country. But I want to see Nigel Farage given a bit of responsibility, because for too long he has been shouting from the sidelines. Too long he has been a campaigner, a protester, a disruptor. Now it's time to actually give him power to see what that, throughout all the years, what he's been saying, that he's willing to put into effective action. Let's see him make a difference in this country. Let's see him actually be a man of his word and put his money where his mouth is. As always, I've been Jake from Just Jake, and let me know what you think. What do you think Nigel Farage really wants? Does he care about you? Does he care about me? Or does he just care about himself? Let me know what you think. I've been Jake from Just Jake. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you wouldn't mind. Please. And yeah, thank you for watching. Make love, not war, because we will not take your boat, people, into this country. We've had enough of them.
You're joking. Not another one?
You actually made it to the end of the video. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, which, why haven't you already, is somewhere over there. And also, if you want to watch more videos, also check out over there. I've been Jake from Just Jake. See you later.